One cold night, science and evil collide. Oh yeah.
Jack Frost, 1997, not to be confused with its Michael Keaton variant in 1998, is a bit of a special film for me because when I was a kid, I remember the VHS box art for this film traumatized the hell out of me because I was a big coward that scared easy. But I didn't watch it until the summer of 2018 at 3 a.m. thanks to Amazon Prime, which I was just browsing at the time, and it's also a goldmine for a shit ton of campy and shitty horror movies that I have yet to watch, and I've watched a few and will maybe cover later down the road on this channel. But after watching this film almost 15 years later when I saw that box art at Walmart, I gotta say I was not disappointed. So the movie starts with a typical Christmas intro, but mixed with weird narration between a British uncle and a niece that totally isn't a grown woman pretending to be a little kid.
Uncle Henry, I don't think this is
Hey,
such a...
you wanted a story. You got a story.
Okay.
During this narration, the weird uncle is telling the audience about our protagonist, if you will, Jack Frost, and how he is a serial killer that stabs you and that at these very moments he is getting taken to be executed. Which one of the guards, while they are taking Jack Frost, makes this remark of, "This LED fried Jack!" which stuck on me for whatever reason. And while they are taking Jack to get executed, there's this big ass snowstorm, which thanks to that the guards don't see the incoming chemical truck and crash. Well, they barely touch each other and then they kind of explode out of nowhere. But the point is, Jack escapes and the sideways chemical truck bursts while he is threatening the guard, and it fucking blows him up. Well, not blows him up, but like gets him all filled with the toxic, and then the transformation begins. While his transformation is happening, which looks really good by the way, we cut to these guard reacts. He's like, "Oh? Huh? Whoa." Then we get a zoom in of Jack's blood samples, or like the little blood cells that get expanded with like snow energy, and that's pretty fucking dumb. And it looks really bad, but also great. I love that little CGI. It's so 1997. After we just cut to the guard shooting at snow and end scene. After we cut to our real protagonist, I guess, which is the sheriff and his family. Well, mostly the sheriff. Obviously the family is just there to show that the sheriff has a family, but they don't really matter that much. Then we are shown how the sheriff arrests the killer Jack, and which is basically the same plot as Child's Play in a way, but with a snowman. The point of the scene is that the wife of the sheriff is telling the sheriff that Jack is gonna be killed and that he should be feeling better and that nightmares will be over because Jack threatened to kill him when he got arrested. After that, we are shown that the React guard is still alive. The sheriff is shit kid, gives him a bag of his special cooked meal, which looks like beans and marshmallows, which looks fucking nasty. But he saves it in a doggy bag and takes it to work, which is probably a wise decision. We are then shown the Christmas village that is Snowtown or whatever it's called, which is shown to be an all-American like little town, and they're having a little snow building competition. And I love the sets. It really makes it look like a Christmas town, and like I've always had the little fantasy of what would it be like to live in these little places that are just like a couple blocks and everybody knows each other. And they're having a snow building contest, and there's this guy building a titty snow woman. Then we cut to the sheriff arriving to the police station, and the sheriff throws away the shit kid food, but then picks it up because he's like, maybe I'll eat it for my son. But This is actually crucial to the plot, guys. Foreshadowing. Also note that the little doggy bag, when he puts it back in, it kind of looks like a shit ton of weed to me for some reason. We are then informed by the secretary that somebody died. So we are shown that this old man is frozen to death, and they assume it's a murder, even though he looks like he's just been frozen outside. I mean, like, he was pretty old. Couldn't he have died like a heart attack or something? Well, the point is that there's a murder, and it's the first murder ever, like, in a while in the sheriff's county. And that is obviously the first shown victim for Jack in snow form. Then our Sheriff Sam talks to the FBI agent and reports the murder, and the FBI guy, Manners, basically just tells him nothing and lies and says that he can fuck off. So we are shown that the FBI man has the chemical guy with him and informs him that they haven't even tested the acid on an amoeba, and that Jack's the first like living thing that basically come in contact with it. We haven't really been informed at this point what the acid really even is, but I guess that's besides the point because it's a killer snowman movie, and that was probably established way before the acid, so basically who cares, I guess. Then we cut to the sheriff's house where the wife arrives with groceries and the shit kid's making some fucking messy ass cookies, and then we see a snowman in the middle of the driveway, but the mother assumes that the kid made it and tells him, oh, you can go finish it off, and he's like, oh, but I didn't make him. Well, she's like, someone made him, and gives him carrots, and he goes running to finish the snowman. Then we are shown some fuckers panicking at the sheriff's station, and the sheriff saying, calm the fuck down, we have no leads, but lock your doors and be scared. Then the sheriff's son is building his snowman, putting in the little rocks and in the nose. But then a bunch of bullies come out and say, hey man, we want to use your dad's driveway for our snow shit. And then they fuck the snowman up. And then Jack just kills him by tripping him and having his little sled cut his head off, which is really brilliant. The funny part is that the kid is like, I didn't do it. Which I don't know how anybody would believe that he did it in the first place when he just literally stood there. But a good kill nonetheless. After that, we are shown how the father and mother of the kid that got killed earlier are wrecked. They are killed in pretty dumb fashion, but I do like when the giant snow hand is pulling the mother down the box of the crystal decorations. That's pretty fun. Then we are shown that the FBI man and the other chemical guy are now in town. It is also established that Jack can melt and unmelt at will, which is a pretty good technique for a killer. Kind of reminds me of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in part 4 with Aqua necklace. Then the sheriff is telling the people in the little city hall or gym or whatever, warning them about Jack and how they should like lock their doors and stuff. And then we see the local salesman Paul run in all crazy that he saw the snowman and saying, and because he saw Jack and telling everyone about it, and obviously the whole town saying he's nuts. The FBI man punches Paul at the face and tells Sam the sheriff that he is shit at his job and that he will replace him if he doesn't get the people out the streets that will affect his operation. Then one of the deputies picks up the wife of the sheriff and they leave the house alone. And the girl, Jill, and this other schmuck, which I forget his name, they go to the sheriff's house, which, by the way, her family is basically all dead and she is now an orphan. But, well, she knows that her brother's dead, but like she doesn't know that her family's dead. And what she plans to do is go fuck at the sheriff's house for whatever reason, which I think it's probably bad enough that she wants to go fuck when her brother died not even a day ago to begin with, but doing it in the sheriff's office, I mean not office house, is in another level of skankiness. But it is pretty funny how they show that they gotta take off like 10 pieces of garments since they were wearing so much snow shit, and it's all, and the way it's shot and the music, it's pretty good. Then the world's most pissed off snow cone appears and fucks up Tommy with a couple of icicles. I love when the icicle that hits his head, then there's a little lingering shot that shows like a little noise. And that noise is fucking nasty, but I love it. And then cut to the famous shower scene. Or not shower, but you know, the bathtub scene. In which Jack Frost literally bangs the girl. And after that hilarious joke / kill, we cut to the sheriff's office where it is established that the plan for the FBI man and Sam is to seal down the whole town, but since they're in the middle of the snowstorm, they can't get reinforcements in the town, but Jack Frost can't escape the town, which I find kind of stupid since Jack Frost is supposed to be able to turn into water. That should basically mean that he can escape of almost nearly any situation, unless he's trapped in a bottle, I guess. No, but he can turn into a giant snowman. Like, he could basically escape anywhere, but it doesn't matter because he's there to kill the sheriff anyway, so he probably won't try and escape until he does that. Then we hear the deputy's car arrive, but as we know, it is Jack Frost in it, and the FBI man proceeds to shoot him, and obviously it does not work. Then everyone proceeds to the office and tries to hide, and then it is told to Sam that Jack Frost is actually still alive and now a snowman, and we are reminded of how Jack Frost wants to kill our favorite sheriff. Then FBI bro shoots at water. It is then established that the sheriff can use hair dryers as a weapon. Well, technically it's heat in general, which you would think would be the first thing they try after facing a snowman monster. So now they plan to blow up the police station, but they're trying to escape, but the window has a lock, and the key is all the way in the office where Jack is. So the sheriff has to run and get it.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Just grab the fucking keys! But they eventually blow up Jack. But he surprisingly survives. It was also established that the scientist man wants to keep Jack Frost alive so that he can continue with his investigation and whatever. And we also have a flimsy explanation of how the acid fuses your chromosomes, DNA or some bullshit, and that the soul exists, and that it's a chemical. But while they are threatening the scientist man, then he says, oh, I have no idea how to stop it, so nah. But then the ultimate plan is to lure him to like a furnace, or as the sheriff says, they're going to force him. Then that plan works and they melt Jack up. But as you would think, it's obvious that you can't really blow up water, since essentially that's what Jack is. So he just turned into gas and water and then to ice and kills FBI bro and scientist man with a frostbite. Then Jack Frost takes control of the science man body and comes out through and like vomits himself out of the science man body and pursues the sheriff. Remember when I said that Chit Kit's food, nasty ass food, was gonna be important? I was not lying. So it turns out that the kid put antifreeze in his food, in his oatmeal for whatever reason, and that is Jack Frost's only weakness, antifreeze. So with this newly discovered knowledge, the whole town puts a little plan together. Which by plan I mean the sheriff gets chased by Jack Frost till he throws him off the roof into a bunch of antifreeze from the back of the truck and then wrestles him till he melts. Sheriff and crew then bury Jack in a bunch of, well, they put all the antifreeze in a bunch of containers and then bury that in the cemetery, and we get a lasting shot of those gallons and credits. In conclusion, I was entertained by Jack Frost, but not blown away or surprised. But it still worth a watch. Is Jack Frost an iconic slasher character? No. But if you don't want to rewatch a Friday the 13th film or any of the Chucky films, check Jack Frost out. I personally think that the second film has better effects and kills, but I will cover that on a later date.